Why did Princess Diana build a secret bunker in 1994? This underground chamber, 15 meters beneath Kensington Palace, contained Diana's darkest fears. The documents, audio recordings, and video messages found inside showed just how terrified she was of the royal family. Diana wasn't just storing secrets in this bunker, she had survival plans, escape routes, lists of trusted contacts, as if she had foreseen her own death and was preparing for it. The final document, discovered 27 years later, revealed a truth that left everyone frozen in shock. It was March 8, 2024, when construction engineer Sarah Cunningham made the discovery that would change royal history forever. She was leading a renovation team in the basement levels of Kensington Palace, updating the building's electrical systems, when her drilling equipment hit something unexpected. "Stop the drill," Sarah called out to her team. Instead of solid concrete, they had struck hollow space. Behind the basement wall was a void that shouldn't have existed according to any of the palace blueprints. What they found was a hidden steel door, unmarked and secured with an electronic lock that still functioned after nearly 3 decades. The door bore no royal insignia, no identification, nothing that would indicate its purpose or origin. Sarah contacted palace security immediately, but what happened next surprised everyone. The security team had no record of this chamber, no blueprints, no maintenance logs, no official documentation existed for this underground space. Inspector Helen Morrison was called in to investigate. As she examined the electronic lock, she discovered it was programmed to respond to a specific fingerprint. After consulting with palace records, they determined that the fingerprint belonged to Princess Diana. When they finally opened the door on March 15, 2024, what they found inside defied all expectations. The bunker was larger than anyone had imagined. Nearly 200 square meters of underground space, divided into several chambers. The main room contained a desk, chairs, filing cabinets, and sophisticated recording equipment that was state-of-the-art for the walls were lined with soundproofing material, and the entire space was equipped with its own ventilation system. But what Diana had stored in this bunker would prove to be far more shocking than the bunker itself. The first chamber contained thousands of documents, copies of internal royal family communications, financial records, medical reports, and correspondence with government officials. Diana had been systematically documenting everything that happened within the royal household, creating what appeared to be an insurance policy against those who might wish her harm. Rebecca Stone, an audio forensics expert, was brought in to examine the recording equipment. What she discovered sent shockwaves through the investigation team. Diana had been secretly recording conversations for years, including meetings with senior royal family members, government officials, and palace staff. "The sophistication of this equipment is remarkable," Rebecca explained to the investigation team. Princess Diana had access to military-grade recording technology. This wasn't amateur documentation, this was professional-level surveillance. One recording, dated December 1994, captured a conversation between Diana and Marcus Blackwood, her secret security advisor, who had coordinated the bunker's construction. Diana's voice was clear and determined. "Marcus, I need you to understand something. They want me gone, not just from the family, but permanently. This bunker isn't just about storing documents, it might be about staying alive." The revelation that Diana had felt her life was in danger years before her death was shocking enough, but the evidence she had gathered was even more disturbing. Julian Hartwell's medical records, stored in a temperature-controlled cabinet, revealed that Diana had been experiencing symptoms she believed were caused by poisoning. Blood tests, hair samples, and detailed medical journals documented her suspicions that someone was systematically trying to harm her health. Patient reports consistent feelings of fatigue, nausea, and cognitive impairment following meals at official royal functions. Hartwell had written in his confidential notes, "Symptoms appear to correlate with specific social events and disappear during periods of isolation. Recommend comprehensive toxicology screening." The toxicology results, hidden in Diana's bunker for nearly 3 decades, showed trace amounts of unusual compounds in her system, substances that had no legitimate medical purpose but could cause the symptoms she was experiencing. But Diana's paranoia, as it turned out, was entirely justified. Thomas Riley, the architect who had secretly constructed the bunker, came forward after the discovery was made public. At 62 years old, he had kept Diana's secret for nearly 30 years, but now felt compelled to reveal the truth about the project. Princess Diana came to me in early 1994. Thomas explained to investigators. She said she needed a safe place, somewhere no one else could find. She was terrified, but she was also incredibly determined. She told me that if anything happened to her, this bunker would contain the evidence needed to expose the truth. Thomas revealed that the bunker construction had been funded through Diana's personal charity accounts, disguised as renovation expense. The project had taken 6 months to complete, with work conducted only during late-night hours when the palace was largely empty. Diana had been directly involved in every aspect of the bunker's design. She had insisted on multiple security measures, backup power systems, and communication equipment that would allow her to contact the outside world if she ever needed to use the bunker as a true safe house. The most chilling discovery came in the form of video recordings Diana had made in the bunker during her final months. Using professional camera equipment, she had created what amounted to a series of video testimonies, documenting her fears and suspicions in her own words. In one recording dated June 1997, just 2 months before her death, Diana appeared exhausted and frightened. "If something happens to me, I want people to know it wasn't an accident. The evidence is all here. The medical records, the recordings, the documents, they prove that there was a systematic campaign to silence me." Diana went on to detail specific incidents where she believed attempts had been made on her life. A car accident that had been reported as mechanical failure but which Diana suspected was sabotage. Food poisoning at a state dinner that affected only her. Even a chandelier that had fallen in her private quarters, missing her by inches. "They're getting bolder," Diana said in the record. "They think I don't know what's happening, but I've been documenting everything, every conversation, every meeting, every suspicious incident. If they succeed in killing me, at least the truth will survive." The video recordings revealed that Diana had identified specific individuals within the royal household whom she suspected of working against her. She had compiled detailed dossiers on palace staff, government officials, and even family members whom she believed were involved in what she called the campaign to destroy me. Lady Margaret Pemberton, Diana's close friend and confidant, confirmed after the bunker's discovery that she had been aware of Diana's fears, but had hoped they were exaggerated. Diana was convinced that there were people within the royal establishment who wanted her dead. Lady Margaret revealed, "I thought she was being paranoid, but seeing this evidence, I realized she was documenting a real conspiracy." The bunker also contained Diana's detailed escape plan. She had researched safe houses in multiple countries, established secret bank accounts, and created new identities that she could assume if she ever needed to disappear completely. She had even stockpiled food, medical supplies, and cash in the bunker, preparing for the possibility that she might need to hide underground for extended periods. David Ashford, the video technician analyzing Diana's recordings, made another disturbing discovery. The bunker's recording equipment had continued functioning after Diana's death, automatically capturing audio from hidden microphones placed throughout Kensington Palace. These post-death recordings revealed conversations between royal family members and palace officials discussing Diana's death with what appeared to be relief, rather than grief. In one recording from September 1997, just weeks after Diana's funeral, unidentified voices could be heard discussing the problem being solved and finally being able to move forward. Inspector Helen Morrison coordinated with international law enforcement agencies to verify the authenticity of Diana's evidence. Forensic analysis confirmed that all the documents, recordings, and video testimonies were genuine and had not been tampered with. What Princess Diana created in this bunker is essentially the most comprehensive documentation of threats against a royal family member in modern history, Inspector Morrison reported. The level of detail, the consistency of the evidence, and the professional quality of the documentation suggest that her fears were not only real but well-founded. The medical evidence proved particularly compelling. Independent toxicologists confirmed that the substances found in Diana's blood samples were consistent with slow-acting poisons that could cause gradual health deterioration without leaving obvious traces. Julian Hartwell, now in his 70s, came forward to confirm Diana's medical suspicions. "I had been treating Princess Diana for what appeared to be chronic illness symptoms," he revealed. "When she showed me her private test results and asked for my analysis, I was horrified to discover that someone had indeed been systematically poisoning her." Hartwell explained that he had wanted to go to authorities at the time, but Diana had convinced him to wait until she had gathered more evidence. She was building a case, not just documenting random incidents. She knew that accusations without proof would be dismissed as the paranoid delusions of an unstable royal. The bunker's discovery sent shockwaves through the British establishment. The evidence Diana had compiled painted a picture of a royal family and government apparatus that had viewed her as a threat to be eliminated rather than a family member to be protected. Marcus Blackwood, Diana's security advisor who had helped create the bunker, remained silent for weeks after the discovery. When he finally agreed to speak with investigators, his revelations were the most damning of all. Princess Diana didn't just suspect she was in danger, Marcus revealed. She had proof. The bunker contains evidence of meetings where her elimination was discussed openly. She recorded conversations where palace officials debated different methods of getting rid of her without creating public suspicion. Marcus explained that Diana had tasked him with not only building the bunker, but also establishing a network of loyal contacts who could help protect the evidence if anything happened to her. She knew she was living on borrowed time, he said. The bunker was her way of ensuring that the truth would eventually come out, even if she wasn't alive to tell it. The final piece of evidence found in the bunker was perhaps the most shocking of all: a sealed envelope addressed to be opened only after my death that contained Diana's final testimony. In this document, Diana identified by name the individuals she believed were planning her assassination. She detailed their motives, their methods, and their timeline. Most chillingly, she predicted almost exactly how her death would be staged to look like an accident. "They will make it look like a car crash," Diana wrote. "It will happen in a place where there are no witnesses, where the cameras malfunction conveniently, where the evidence can be controlled. They've been planning this for months, and I know it's coming soon." Diana's final document contained instructions for how the bunker should be found and how the evidence should be presented to ensure maximum impact and credibility. "I am not paranoid," Diana concluded in her final written testimony. "I am a woman who has discovered a conspiracy against her life and has chosen to fight back with the truth. If you are reading this, then they have succeeded in killing me, but they have failed to silence me." The discovery of Diana's bunker has forced a complete re-examination of the circumstances surrounding her death in 1997. The evidence she compiled over 3 years of careful documentation presents a compelling case that her death was not the tragic accident it was portrayed to be. International investigators are now reviewing Diana's evidence alongside the official records from her fatal car crash in Paris. Preliminary analysis suggests that many of the coincidences surrounding her death, the malfunctioning cameras, the delayed medical response, the convenient unavailability of witnesses, were exactly the scenarios Diana had predicted in her bunker testimony. The bunker's discovery has also revealed the extraordinary courage Diana showed in her final years. Rather than simply accepting her fate, she had fought back against those who threatened her by meticulously documenting their actions and creating an unassailable record of the truth. Sarah Cunningham, the construction engineer whose drilling equipment first uncovered the bunker, reflected on the significance of the discovery. "Princess Diana knew that someone wanted her dead, and instead of running or hiding, she spent 3 years building a case against her own killers. This bunker represents one of the most remarkable acts of courage and determination in royal history." The evidence found in Diana's secret bunker has transformed our understanding of her final years from a period of instability and paranoia to a time of remarkable bravery and clear-sighted preparation for her own murder. 27 years after her death, Princess Diana has finally been able to tell her story in her own words, presenting evidence that suggests her greatest fears were not delusions, but deadly accurate predictions of what was being planned against her. The bunker beneath Kensington Palace stands as a testament to Diana's refusal to be silenced, even by death. Through her careful documentation and strategic planning, she ensured that the truth about her life and death would eventually emerge, no matter how long it took. Diana's secret bunker has proven that sometimes the people who seem most paranoid are actually the most perceptive, and that the courage to document the truth can be more powerful than any conspiracy to suppress it. Rebecca Stone's analysis revealed that Diana had been in contact with journalists, foreign intelligence services, and human rights organizations in the months before her death. She had been preparing to go public with her evidence, planning a coordinated release that would have made it impossible for the royal establishment to suppress the information. One encrypted file contained the draft of a book Diana had been writing, tentatively titled The Palace Conspiracy: My Fight for Survival. The manuscript detailed not only the attempts on her life, but also financial corruption, illegal surveillance of British citizens, and abuse of power at the highest levels of government. Thomas Riley revealed that Diana had actually commissioned him to build similar safe rooms in 3 other locations around London. These additional bunkers, still undiscovered, were designed as backup locations where Diana could hide if her primary bunker was compromised. She was planning for every contingency, Thomas explained. Princess Diana understood that if they were serious about killing her, they would eventually find any single hiding place. She needed multiple options. Marcus Blackwood's final revelations proved to be the most explosive. He confirmed that Diana had not been working alone in her final months. A group of sympathetic individuals within British intelligence had been secretly assisting her, providing both the technology and expertise needed to build her case. There were people within MI5 and MI6 who were disgusted by what was being planned, Marcus revealed. They couldn't stop it through official channels, but they could help Princess Diana document it. They knew that if anything happened to her, the evidence would eventually surface. The international response to Diana's bunker discovery has been unprecedented. Foreign governments have called for independent investigations, human rights organizations have demanded justice, and millions of people around the world have finally seen proof of what many had suspected for decades. The bunker beneath Kensington Palace has become more than just a storage room for secrets. It has become a symbol of resistance against institutional corruption and a testament to the power of truth to survive even the most determined efforts to suppress. Princess Diana's secret bunker proves that sometimes the greatest act of courage is not fighting your enemies directly, but ensuring that the truth will outlive both you and them. Through her careful planning and meticulous documentation, Diana achieved something that her killers never anticipated. She turned her own death into the evidence that would eventually expose them. The woman who was dismissed as paranoid and unstable has been vindicated by her own words, preserved in an underground chamber that served as both fortress and tomb for the truth she died protecting.